taxes that are going to be implemented in UAE, it's quite a very minimum amount of the taxes in comparison to the global taxes. UAE has been culturally very diverse. You will find more than 200 plus nationalities residing in UAE. And as of the record of World Bank's report, UAE has ranked as 16th in the ease of doing business, mainly because of the fewer regulations and ease of registration in UAE. So, because of UAE's strategic location in the world, wherein it has easy access to the neighboring three continents, it's easier to do trade, it's easier to provide your services and be in connection with the world, not just in UAE, not just neighboring countries, but the neighboring continents. So it's far more easier to do business in UAE, and that has been one of the reasons we have seen a lot of investors, entrepreneurs, foreign expatriates settling in UAE, residing in the UAE.
So I will be enlightening more about what is mainland over here in the UAE. So UAE comprises of 7 emirates, which is Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Sharjah, Ajman, Fujairah, Ras Al Khaimah, and Al Quwain. So all of these emirates are having their own mainland and free zones. Now, mainland are the areas where, which is also formerly known as the city, are governed by the UAE government, and the licensing authority in the mainland and all over the UAE, in all the 7 emirates, it's called Department of Economic Development. So the key industry where mainland focuses on is, of course, the retail sector and the industrial sector as well. And the nature of business in a mainland company is based on tangible services, real estate, and fast-moving products. These are more where it's easily accessible to the local market and international market as well.
Sorry, my mic was closed. Yes. So now we speak about free zones. As my colleague Fayaz explained that there are 7 emirates and each emirates has their own mainland and their free zones. So free zones, there is 47 plus free zones collectively of all the emirates, and then each free zone has their own subcategories or sub free zones. Now these sub free zones specialize either in terms of business activity, in terms of their geographical location, where they're located in. One example could be how Dubai Silicon Oasis also governs IFZA and certain other. Right. So this is how collectively there are 60 plus free zones all over UAE, and the choice is a lot for investors and entrepreneurs who are settling to UAE, and we are right here to explain to you which one would be the right free zone suitable for your requirements. Now, free zones, the core idea of having a free zone is to allow entrepreneurs and investors to have their company in UAE while they do not have to be regulated by the regulations of UAE, by the mainland or the federal government. You can have your company in a free zone and you can do B2B solutions, which is business to business, your corporate entity providing services or trading to corporates internationally or within the free zone that you are registered in, free zone to free zone, that is any other free zone in UAE or the international market. So in such scenario, you would assume that you can only provide services, not only, but your services have to be intangible because you cannot cross the free zone borders to go and provide services in the mainland. These are intangible services we're speaking about. For example, you've got accounting, bookkeeping, consultation, services, service industry basically. So accessibility is again very easily accessible across the free zones. You are surrounded by the mainland, so you have easy access to that as well. UAE's location allows you to have easy accessibility to global market as well. Your target audience is B2B or international market.
So now I will be highlighting the key differences between mainland and free zone. So to begin with, I'll be discussing about the ownership structure of a mainland company. So in mainland, we have 3 different types of licenses. First is a commercial license, professional license, and industrial license. So commercial license are formally known as a limited liability company and are usually issued for trading activities in the mainland. So those are falling under the commercial sector. Second, we have is professional license. Professional license is a service-based license, which is having unlimited liability and a structure. There are two structures which can be followed in a professional license: is sole establishment and civil partnership. Third is industrial license. Again, industrial license is where it allows all manufacturing units, packaging units, and this also serves limited liability here in the mainland. Previously, all limited liability companies in the UAE, you had to appoint a 51% local sponsor. Now, local sponsor means any UAE Emirati person to hold 51% shares in your company. Not necessarily UAE also, it can be from any other GCC countries as well. And 49% was given to the expat, the actual owner of the company. People were able to safeguard their business while signing an MOU among them, or some kind of a site agreement stating that the local has no rights in the company and the local will be paid a particular amount on a yearly basis. But from 1st June 2020, 100% ownership was introduced here in the UAE, which allowed a lot of foreign direct investment. Here, in an LLC company, in a commercial license and an industrial license, you were able, most of the actually activities, you are able to have it without a local sponsor. You do not need a local, and it can be 100% owned by you. And this change in the ownership structure for the mainland companies have bought more have safeguarded new entrepreneurs to enter the UAE market.
Now we discuss about the ownership structure in a free zone company. Earlier, and even right now, the ownership remains 100% owned by the expatriates. There is no local requirement at all, no local sponsor, or no local agent at all. So investors and entrepreneurs, they enjoy 100% ownership of their own company. They enjoy 100% profit and loss division of their company, or banking rights as well. They are the only signatory appointed for their company incorporation. Now, these companies also have 0% custom duty as part of free zones, free trade zones custom liabilities. They do not have any custom on them, no import or export duties, basically allows them to do easier trade with the global market. Now, for existing residents who earlier wanted to form companies, or right now who are residents of UAE, who maybe they're employees in a company, they want to expand, have their own side hustle, they want to form a company, they would need NOC from their sponsors. So NOC in free zone is not required at all to form the company. So this is a good opportunity for people who want to have a side hustle, who want to expand their income, to form a company in UAE without the need of alerting their sponsor, because it would obviously affect your residency and you do not want to alert your sponsor about your interest to have a side business. So this is a good opportunity for entrepreneurs who want to have. Now, as per the legal structure of the free zone company, we have FZE, which is basically free zone establishment. This is for service industries, marketing, consultation, IT services, and so on. Any industry, any license which provides services to only services. We have FZCO LLC, which is basically for free zone company LLC for multiple partners. In a company where there's trading going on and there's multiple partners involved, the legal structure of your company would be FZCO LLC. And FZ LLC is basically just Free Zone LLC for single member ownership of limited liability companies. Moving on, the other difference of free zone and mainland would be in terms of minimum share capital. In the case of mainland, all of the mainland have declared paid up capital. They do not have the concept of paid up capital right now. Earlier, yes, there was a necessity to have a paid up capital. Right now, it's a declared capital. So you are basically just alerting the authorities that this is your minimum share capital for the company, but you do not have to deposit this amount to Ministry of Economy or to your bank. That's not required. In the case of free zone, as I said, there are 60 plus free zones. So not all of the free zones would request you to pay up the share capital. Certain free zones, premium free zones, would recommend you to pay up the share capital in terms of depending upon the business activity, depending upon the jurisdiction you are registered with. So it's not common for all the free zones to have declared capital concept. Now we discussed with regards to time frame. Uh, as Faria has explained, that mainland entities are registered directly under the federal government. So, Harish, we see your question. I think after this call, we'll be able to, reach out to you and answer each questions. Uh, okay, so please note on your questions in the chat box, so we'll be able to get back to you later. All right. Thank you for the question. Now, coming back to the time frame, as Faria had discussed, that mainland companies. Okay, thank you, Sadia. So mainland companies are registered directly under the federal government. So, which is why you need to be directly registered with the regulatory bodies, with the government entities that you are working with. Now, due to that, your timeline can be affected because you have to take certain approvals, either pre-license or post-license issuance. So your timeline is affected. It could be depending upon obviously the government entity in the loop of the license incorporation can vary from a week to months. Now, the very basic concept is we collect your documents, that is passport of the shareholders, if they are residents of UAE, the active visas, Emirates ID. If they are not residents of UAE, we take their visa from the previous entry to UAE, or we issue a visit visa to generate the UID number. Once all the documents are collected, we would need trade name options to check whether the name that you want to have for your entity is available to establish a company on. Business activities are taken, and the jurisdiction, we recommend you jurisdiction based upon your requirements. Once these initial documentation are done, we send the application to the necessary jurisdiction. Now, in case of mainland, we approach the mainland of the Emirates you want to establish in. After the application is done, we receive an approval, which is the very initial approval receipt. Moving on to, along with trade name reservation, we schedule a code signing. Now, code signing is basically either you will go to physically for the notary public, we schedule a appointment, or if let's say any entrepreneurs or expat for any reason cannot travel to UAE, we do private notary, wherein the jurisdiction that you want to register in, the governing notarization body, the governing court will give you a schedule to do online signing. It's a video call. You just have to be present with your verification documents, and we do the process. We do the code signing. We receive questions in the chat box. We'll be answering them later. So after the code signing is done, or now you will decide upon what type of office space you want to have for your company. In Dubai and Abu Dhabi, mainland, we have the option to choose virtual office space. Basically, you do not need office spaces, physical office spaces to operate. So we provide certain commercial solutions. Other Emirates in Sharjah, Ajman, Abu Dhabi, Ras Al Khaimah, these are entities where you need to have your own office space. So this discussion takes place after the code signing. We can decide on what office space you need. We get the tenancy contract. Now we have all the set of documents, all the registrations done. We do the final submission to release the license. Once the license is issued, you can launch your business. Side by side, your corporate bank account has to be in place to receive funds, to release funds as well. So that process is also to be taken care of. And following the launching of your business, your residencies are taken care of. Now, the time frame for free zone companies is similar to what it follows in mainland, but again, because free zones are not directly under the federal government, not a lot of registrations have to be done with the third party government entity. So you can have your licenses, your business activities without much regulation in the mainland. So again, initial documentation, whoever is the shareholder, you decide upon the shareholding, the documents are collected. We recommend you which of the available options of free zone would be right for you, depending upon, there's multiple factors affecting that. There's jurisdictions that is easier to access, there's cost effectiveness, there's business operation also, and bank account opening as well. So once applications are processed, once documents are collected, in free zones, you do not have to be physically present for code signing. We do not have to even schedule a court signing with the courts of the governed jurisdiction. We have something called document signing, where you will receive the documents, sign them, send a scanned copy. That's all. So it's easier. So free zones, in comparison, are easier to establish in terms of company incorporation. Majority of the free zones provide flexi-desk solutions, wherein you do complementary flexi-desk solutions, wherein you do not have to worry about looking for an office space. Again, depending upon your nature of business and your requirements, you can choose to have office space. Now, in terms of free zone, you need to have office space, commercial office space, from the jurisdiction you are registered in. So, for example, if you are registered in IBSA, you have to have an office space in IBSA. Maidan is one free zone which gives you NOC to have office space anywhere as per your requirements. So again, this is something that is kept in mind when it comes to allocating which jurisdiction is better for your business. Now, once the verification of the documents are done, once you've submitted everything, free zones will provide you your license, and then you proceed with your corporate bank account as well as your residencies. You launch your business at this point of time.
So I will be highlighting more on taxation here in UAE, both in mainland and free zone. So there are three types of we can say tax or duties here in the UAE. First is called the VAT, value added tax, which is 5%. And it is eligible for the businesses in the UAE who are crossing a revenue of AED 375,000 for mandatory registration. And if they are crossing, let's say, AED 187,500, it is a voluntary registration. Bear in mind that before you cross AED 375,000, you are supposed to register for it, or else your company will face heavy fines. Now, in the UAE, there are taxable zones and exempted zones as well. So the taxable ones are in the mainland. If the mainland is dealing with the both designated zones and non-designated zones, like example, mainland is dealing with international clients and everything. In that case, it is taxable. They are supposed to charge 5% VAT to their clients, and most of the free zones are also taxable. And like for example, Maidan, Ifza, DMCC, Shams, SPC, Rakis, they all are taxable free zones here in the UAE. Now, there are some free zones which are exempted from 5% VAT, which falls under the designated zone over here. For example, if you're dealing between Javza to Davza, you are exempted for the 5% VAT. Now comes the 9% corporate tax. So in the mainland, 9% corporate tax will be applicable for the global income. And when your global income crosses AED 375,000, for a free zone company, it is applicable if you are dealing locally. Now, for example, if your company is set up, let's say, in one of the free zones here, and you are invoicing a client which is based in mainland, so you will be eligible so to pay 9% corporate tax from the income earned from that client of yours. But if you're dealing internationally, now, for example, I am dealing, let's say, with South Africa, India, or other countries, I'm having clients internationally, I am not entitled for a 9% corporate tax then. As of now, free zones, of course, it's kind of a gray area where they have not disclosed all regulations yet. So we'll be waiting for that to come up soon, and we will keep you all updated for it. Now comes the 5% custom duty. So if you are a free zone company, you are not entitled to pay any customs if you are doing import export from international and back to international. Now, for example, your goods come to the free zone and then they go back, so there is no custom duty. But if the goods come to the free zone and then you bring it to the mainland, and if the mainland company receives it, then there's a 5% custom duty in that. Now I'll be speaking about the real estate industry. This is one of the most important factor here to understand whether you need to open in a mainland or in a free zone. So in any of the Emirates here in the UAE, when there is land involved, the real estate involved, first of all, the license should be from that specific emirate. You cannot have a license, let's say, in Sharjah and deal with Dubai real estate. Not possible. You are supposed to have a license, or per se have a branch of your existing, let's say, Dubai company in Sharjah for real estate industry. Now, again, since you're involved in land in terms of brokerage services, leasing, buying and selling, it is supposed to be done through a mainland company. So if you're dealing in the UAE, you need to have a mainland real estate company, and a free zone real estate company will not be applicable for it. You can have a free zone company with real estate activities, but again, you cannot buy and sell or perform any brokerage activities for mainland real estate. You can do for something within the free zones or internationally also. Now I'll be saying about the ease of business between free zones and mainland. So there's a lot of questions between like many clients and everybody who who's looking to set up a business here, that if I open a free zone company, will I be able to deal with mainland? If I'm in mainland, can I deal with free zone? So honestly, as per the policy over here in the UAE, if you are a free zone company, you are allowed to perform businesses all over UAE, but only in a B2B manner. If there is B2C, like business to customers directly, it needs to be internationally. Again, now there are few companies, for example, you set up a foodstuff trading or some kind of a trading company and you want to sell in the mainland. Now, again, if you want to sell in the mainland, you need to involve a mainland distributor to receive your products. So if you are a fusion company, you cannot directly deliver to your client, which is based in mainland. You need to introduce a distributor in the middle, like a mediator, and you have to pay the 5% custom duty and bring in your goods to the UAE. Now, in the case of mainland, mainlands are freely allowed to deal with anybody they want to, sell products anywhere all over the world, in the UAE, in all the free zones, anywhere. So there's no restrictions for the mainland. Now comes for the service licenses. So if you're a service-based company, if it is usually is recommended to have a free zone company in that case, since you are service-based, because it's intangible services. It's specific to intangible services like accounting services, IT services, software development, and so on. You can have the company in the free zone and you can deal with mainland directly. There's no need of distributor because it's services, so you will be able to directly deal with them. And again, these are the services which you are providing to a business, like accounting, software. It's going to a business, so it is serving the purpose of B2B as per the law. Now, if you're in mainland, again, mainland will allow you to provide services all over UAE. One thing we have to keep in mind is that if you're having some kind of a technical service company or some kind of, where cleaning services, facility management, where an actual involvement is done by your employee to enter the mainland, in that case, you have to have a mainland license. You cannot perform those services through a free zone company. So thank you so much, everyone. Now we will be answering you all the few questions which we have in the chat box. So first question we have here from JKV, that can we form a mainland and free zone entity together for foreign nationals and foreign company? Yes, absolutely. You can be shareholders in multiple company over here in the UAE. You, of course, since you are a foreign national, that's what the UAE is attracting here. And again, you can also open branches of your foreign company. You can open a subsidiaries over here. You can also open a rep office.
Question we have is for freelancer license. Harish, you've asked for freelancer license. See, freelancer licenses are actually, again, free zone licenses. Particular free zones allow you to have permits, which allow you to take residencies and then take up projects, it could be temporary projects or permanent projects in the UAE, right? So you will contact these free zones and then they give you the licenses. So it falls under the category of free zones. I There's a TCOM, which is one particular free zone which allows freelancer. There's also Sharjah free zones which allow you to have freelancer licenses. And in this, you're taking work on your personal capacity. So this won't be like a company that you're establishing. This is on your personal capacity, the works that you're looking for.
Now we have a question from Mr. Harish that he wanted to know more on what is FZE, FZ Co, and FZ LLC. Honestly, the purpose of all these companies, again, these are limited liability company. Okay. FZE is when you are a service provider and you are a single owner of the company. So it's called FZE. Okay. Second is FZ Co, which is where you are a trading or services both, and you're having multiple shareholders in the company. So it's called FZ Co, FZ Company LLC. Now we have something called FZ LLC only, single member LLC. Again, if you're having a trading company and if you're a it's called FZ LLC, single member. We have one more question from Mr. Harish. Can you inform status of the corporate tax on free zone companies? So currently, as of now, the regulations have not been passed completely, but as per our understanding, the 9% corporate tax as of now, as per the current situation, would be applicable if you're having any mainland clients. If you're having clients in the mainland whom you're providing your services to or exporting your products to, you are liable to pay 9% corporate tax. And if you have international clients, you're not liable to pay for it. So in this way, you have to maintain two different books also, because you will also need to conduct audit. So that's how you will be able to move forward when you're in a free zone company.
We have a question, if I'm understanding correctly. Cleaning companies will provide staff to mainland companies to provide services to mainland company customers. Now, if I'm understanding correctly, you are asking about cleaning companies providing these staff who go into the mainland to provide services at the facility of the customer itself, right? So, in this case, yes. See, because the individuals, the staff, has to enter any particular location wherein the request for such a service is raised. For example, if I raise a I want a service from a cleaning company. Now, let's say to my office, I would want the employees to come to my office. And if that company, the cleaning company, is established in a free zone, it is not understood for the free zone company to do so because of their jurisdiction. They can provide business within their free zone or B2B solution. Now, this is my requirements being fulfilled on a service, right? So this cannot be done by the cleaning company if they are a free zone company. They have to have a company registered as a mainland entity to provide cleaning services wherein facilities are being visited. And just to answer Harish's question, because I answered his freelancer license, yes, freelancer permits include the visas as well. So basically, you have a permit. Once you get the permit, you are taking residency on the permit, and you can also have your personal bank account.
Also, to add on with Nilofar's point for the freelance license, and even if you're having a visa already, you can still apply for a freelance permit here in the UAE without having an NOC from an employer. So that is one of the benefits for having a freelance license. Now I'll be answering the question for what's the difference between designated and non-designated zones here in the UAE. So designated zones are the zones which are not applicable for any value-added tax. So if you're a free zone company and if you're dealing with a designated zone, so you're not supposed to charge them 5% VAT. But non-designated zones are the one where you are entitled for the 5% VAT. And if you're a mainland company, irrespective if you're dealing with the designated zone or a non-designated zone, you have to charge them 5% corporate tax. Sorry, 5% VAT.
So, JKV, you've asked another question wherein can we sell goods imported from foreign countries into free zone to mainland company or sale or return basis? You can. So you can have a company, a free zone company. You can import and or export goods inside UAE, and then you can sell them to mainland. That is possible, but through a local logistic support or a distributor. So basically, your free zone company will be in tie-up with, let's say, mainland company who is your distributor. So you are providing B2B model in this case. Your company is selling the goods to the mainland company. That's B2B. Now that company, that mainland company will sell your goods, will be your distributor in the mainland. So you are selling in the mainland, but through a distributor. And in this case, wherein goods are entering the UAE and have to be, cleared from the port, in this case, 5% custom will be applicable because your goods are entering the mainland. But in case your goods are coming, let's say, under your foreign companies' capacity, they're entering the UAE port, but they are going again outside. They are being exported. In this case, custom tax is not applicable to you.
We have a question. What is e-trader license in Dubai mainland? So e-trader license is it's kind of a freelance license, which is not applicable for all activities. It's applicable only for a very basic minimum activities, professional activities like accounting service or project management, marketing management. And in this license, you cannot have a visa on the company. You cannot bank account. You can open, but only through certain banks, and which will allow you only to have local transactions. So that's the e-trader license. It is one of the cheapest license we can say here in the UAE. Now we have a question from Christy. Christy, we will connect with you after the call because I believe you joined mostly after the webinar was almost done. So we will connect with you and then we'll give you further information on that.
We have
question that yeah.
Okay.
Maintenance companies can be subcontractors of mainland companies. Yes, they can be. Why not? If you are a facility management company and you would like to, of course, manage a building, so you have to subcontract to other entities here in the UAE and in the mainland because you're providing services. Now, again, if you're providing, let's say, if you are based in Dubai Silicon Oasis, which is a free zone, and if you would like to provide them cleaning services there, so of course that free zone does issue a license for cleaning services. Not that all free zones do not allow technical services or any tangible services. They do, but only among that free zone or outside UAE. So I will be showing our contact numbers so everybody can keep it with them. You can drop us a WhatsApp or give us a call. You can even drop us an email, and we will be sharing with all of you our corporate profile, so you can all stay in touch with us. We have a question from Naseef. I think this is a very important question. That you were trying to open a company in Dubai mainland, but every agency was having different prices here. So prices is something which is in the mainland it keeps on fluctuating. There are certain costs which are fixed, but there are other costs which are non-fixed costs. Like there are many factors which affects your license fee here in the mainland. One of the most important factor is your business activity. Second is how many partners you're having, because with every additional partner, there's an additional cost in the license. Third is your company name. If you're having an English name, it's an expensive one. If you're having Arabic name, it's for free. Then one of the most major important cost which comes in a license fee on an annual basis is your market fee, which is 5% of your annual rent of your office space. So maybe due to which you are, facing different prices here in the market. So how about I will connect with you after the call, Mr. Naseef. I'll connect with you and then we can provide you the detailed quotation, and we will also mention to you where exactly the prices are likely to fluctuate.
We had a question from Mr. Barani Dharan, where we actually missed while we were going through. He had asked if we can explain about the freight forwarding companies in mainland and free zone, the minimum share capital requirement, and so on. Now, freight forwarding companies or logistic companies, they provide logistic solutions to, either inside UAE or also abroad for, exporting and importing. So depending upon the nature of business, depending upon which type of services you are going to provide, your company can be incorporated. Now, we have three ways wherein you can import or export, help people import or export. We have seaways, airways, and roadways. So, if it's roadways, for sure it has to be a mainland company because you have to be inside the mainland to provide the solution, moving, from one location to the other. You yourself have to be freely accessing these jurisdictions. So, you cannot be a free zone company if you do not have the access to, yourself go into the other jurisdiction. So, and also when there is roadways involved, you have to take the approval for RTA because you are moving something from one place to other. So anything to do with transport, the government entity, which is RTA, has to be informed. You need to take their permit and an NOC from their end. When it comes to seaways, you will need Dubai Maritime City approval. And when it comes to airways, you will require Dubai Civil Aviation Authority approval. So these are the three entities that you will need approval from, and minimum share capital depending upon your jurisdiction. If let's say it's a mainland, the minimum share capital you will have is 100,000. It's not a paid up capital, it's a declared capital. In terms of free zone, it depends from free zone to free zone. It's recommended to have a minimum of 100,000. Again, it also depends upon the number of shareholders in the company. The share capital allocation depends upon how many partners are there and how many of the partners will be taking residency in the country. So these are all a lot of factors affecting your amount for share capital.
Furthermore, based on each business activities, the cost does fluctuate here in the UAE. So the price for an IT services may not be the same, when it is a trading company or even among the services, it may not be same. So you have to bear in mind that the cost which are likely to fluctuate because in the UAE the rules are always evolving. It's not fixed here over here. And since considering that we have so many mainland and so many free zones, so you all can connect with us. We'll be more than happy to provide you a one-on-one consultation on your business setup queries and how we can take it forward for you.
Harish,
So
to
we'll
answer your
be
question, we have a group of companies, free zone as well as mainland. So it's a mix.
So I hope we have given most of the answers. There was one question that can Freezone company or maintenance company? Yes, they can have, as I mentioned. You can have those kind of company and you can provide the cleaning services or any maintenance services within the free zone or within other free zones which allow you to enter and internationally. Uh, Devraj, yes, we have a live YouTube going on. So it will be recorded. So we'll be more than happy to share with you the recorded session also of this.
Harish has
Then there's
also
a,
asked,
yeah.
yeah. So Harish has also asked that annual audit reports are they compulsory in mainland as well as in free zone? Now, previously in mainland, it was not compulsory to have annual audited reports, but with respect to corporate taxes coming into picture, wherein with respect to corporate taxes being introduced and your accounts and bookkeeping for any company, regardless it is free zone or mainland, it is recommended that your books of accounts are maintained as in line with the FTA. Your books are accounted and audited for your companies because it would help you for the filing of the corporate tax. So even though it's not compulsory right now, we cannot say for sure about the regulations moving forward.
Furthermore, there is one more question from JKV, that can we sell goods imported from foreign countries into free zone to mainland company? Yes, of course, you can do that. But again, when the goods come in the mainland, I mean, in the free zone, and if you want to bring it to the mainland, you need to involve a distributor, mainland distributor, or a mainland trading company who can receive these products for you.
Nasif, depending upon your jurisdiction where you want to form the company, it will decide whether you have to be present inside UA during the corporation or no. Right now, even for mainland companies, you can form the company without being physically present inside UA. As we were discussing, we have an option available called private notary, wherein we take the uh, the court's approval and schedule for court signing done online. A Zoom call, you just have to be present with your verification document. It could be your passport. If you are already a resident of UAE, you will have Emirates ID. That's enough for you to be present during the call. So if it's free, majority of the free zones, almost all of the free zones, you can form company without being physically present inside UAE. The other option available for you is you would give power of attorney to somebody you trust who can represent you in the court of law to sign on behalf of you. So there are options available in case there is a restriction where you cannot be inside UAE during the process. But overall, not required for you to be inside UAE.
Thank you so much, everyone. Please, you can also take a screenshot of this page where our details are mentioned. And we'll also drop email to each one of you with our corporate profile and also our personal details as well. I will allow you all some time to take in the details. Yes, Mr. Nasi, we will also share with you the recording and the presentation as well. Thank you so much, Kanika. Mr. Devraj, we will connect with you after the call and we'll give you all the information on 9% corporate tax, and we can also schedule your one-on-one consultation with one of the CAs on board over here.